Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Al,
And I'm Micah.
and we're here today to talk about Cottage Core games.
Cottage Core Games.
If there's anything other than Pokopia, that is.
Pokopia, po Cottage Core.
Po-
There's something there.
I see where you're going. That's going to take some workshopping.
Cottage Copia. That's
Probably
like,
not.
I don't
Probably
know.
not workshopping that we need to record. It's like just an hour of us trying to figure out the pun. No, no, because this is not our yearly game of the year episode, which runs to stupid time, nor is it a story of seasons, nor a Harvest Moon episode. So this should not be a 2 hour long episode.
It shouldn't be being the key phrase there.
I I
You
checked
told me before
yeah.
before we recorded, you said yesterday,
Mhm.
you said, I said I gotta do it not like quick, but like I gotta not do like a 3 hour episode this time.
Mm.
And you said every episode you're on is the longest episode.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't remember. I don't have the list in front of me, but a while ago, a couple months ago, I did look at the top 10 longest episodes, and you were on all except one of them.
Oh boy. And I said it's because I work from home, so I don't talk to anybody besides my partner Becky. So I just, when someone gives me an opportunity to talk, I'm hitting that age, you know, where like y- old people just ramble. I'm hitting that age where like
Mm.
I'm rambling because I got nobody to talk to.
It's when we do the game of the year episode and we do the greenhouse first, and it's like the greenhouse goes for an hour and a half, and we're like, oh no, we're an hour and a half in and we've not even started the episode. Oh dear.
But not
Regularly,
today. I'm reining
regularly
it
come out with 4 hours of recordings.
in.
Yes, not today because we're not recording a greenhouse, and we have a strict schedule to get through. We are going to talk about Pokopia. We don't have a specific Pokopia topic. I just wanted to talk about Pokopia with Micah because why not? So we're going to do that.
This
Before
is
that,
Pokopia.
obviously, before that, we have some news. But first of all, Micah, what have you been up to?
I've been playing Pokopia.
What?
No way. No, I also moved. So that was
Ah,
it's been a
congratulations.
chaotic few. Yeah, no,
Huh,
it's a it's a good thing.
good.
We're very happy with the
Nice.
new place. It's uh, quite a ways away from where we were.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big move. And yeah, it's crazy because we lived at the place we were at previously for about 10 years, so it was a very
Wow.
big move.
Yeah.
And I said that to my coworkers who are all younger than I am, and they were like, 10 years. Dang, you're old.
Yeah, we've been at this place now for 9 years, so we're almost we're almost at that decade,
It's
which is that's
it's
a great time to hit because then if you ever do like background checks and stuff, you only need to give one address because
yeah,
it's like the last 7 years, and I'm like, that's the same place.
yep, yep.
It's a great
Yeah,
moment.
now we gotta start over. So
Oh, disaster.
no, it's great. We're really happy with it. You don't realize how
Mm,
much you acquire in 10 years,
yeah, yeah.
especially as someone who collects stuff. So, you know, it was a hefty move, but
Mm.
we're situated now and slowly unpacking and organizing. And
And in 10 years, you'll find the boxes that you've not unpacked.
yeah, that's right. Like we just did.
Yeah.
But other than that, when I've got downtime, I'm playing Pokopia. That's my
Nice. What's your Pokopia status then? What's your decks looking like? What are your areas?
oh
Have you
gosh.
finished the main story?
I have finished the main story. I've rolled
Okay.
credits for sure.
Did you
Uh
cry?
I I didn't cry, but I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
It was a very emotional moment.
Yeah. It got you a little bit.
I would yeah, yeah. I was very, very happy with it. I just looked now because I haven't looked in a while. My current played for status on the Switch user settings says 300 hours or more.
Oh my
So
word.
and as far as milestones go, I have the Withered Wasteland to uh 10 10
Mhm.
not 10 star. What is it? Just it's
Environment
rating
level
at
10.
environment level 10. And the other places I have at probably environment level 7 or 8. So
Okay. So
I've
you
spent a huge chunk of time in the Withered Wasteland.
so you must be spending a lot of time just building stuff then.
Yes,
Because
a lot.
I am at 125 hours and
Hmm.
I'm done.
I could very easily at this point like do what I did to get the Withered Wasteland to area
Yeah.
level 10 with everywhere else.
Eh,
But I have a very specific build project that I'm working on.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Fair enough.
and I am doing something very special with it that I'm not gonna delve too deep into, but I will say that I am essentially doing a reconstruction project.
Fair enough.
So
Okay.
maybe I'll get into it a little bit later once
Yeah,
we're
yeah. Well,
yapping.
yeah, we can talk more about that later. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. So for me, I think last episode I was on was 2 weeks ago, and I was saying at that point that I was maybe about halfway through the decks. I'd already got the level 10 in every area,
Okay.
including Pallet Town.
Okay.
And then I was like feeling like I was gonna hit that point. I'm sure we've talked about this before. I always hit a point with games where I'm like, uh-oh, I'm done. I can't. This is done. It is. I've worn off. Not that I don't like the game anymore. It's just my brain has switched off, and I am done with this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I can feel when it's coming. So there's a point where I'm like, this is going to come soon, and I need to finish what I'm doing and get whatever things I want done.
Sure.
So I was like, okay, I need to see, especially because Tomodachi Life is now out, so I need to start thinking about that game. Um,
Right. Right.
so I was trying to get the decks done. I think two episodes ago I said, let's see where I am in a week, see what my decks is like. A week ago, I didn't end up podcasting, but I was at that point out of 300, I was at 100, no, 200, 280,
Oh,
and
wait.
I'm now done.
Oh, so you finished your Pokedex then.
I finished the Pokedex, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So I spent 4 days, 4 or 5 days. I had like 10 Pokemon left to go. And
Hmm.
so I had all of the habitats just sitting out. So I'd check it regularly. And I was just off hunting the slates, the
I
mysterious
see.
slates,
Okay.
which that is what I would tell anybody is see if you ever want to get all of the slates and whatever you get from that, which I'm not going to spoil in this part of the podcast. I'm sure
Hmm.
we'll do an all spoilers are fine in the main Pokopia section.
Sure.
Um, but for this section, we'll try not to spoil that. Um, if you want to get all those slates, treasure hunt regularly, small amounts regularly, because that was all I was doing for 5 days straight. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, that is not fun.
So I so I have that essentially done.
Yeah,
The problem is that I wanted to save. I saw what because once you get to a certain again without spoiling until we get there, once you get to a certain point of completion of the mural, right? Like
yeah,
you know what it's gonna be because
yeah,
you
yeah.
can
You can
see
see.
the.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have all but one plugged in,
Okay,
and I decided that I was gonna save it until I'm completely done with my project in this area.
fair enough.
And what I will tell you is that the game knows which one you haven't put in yet. And so if you save it, when you treasure hunt, it will just inundate you with that one
Oh, really?
until you I
That's
have
amazing.
about I have about 10 duplicates of the same
That's
last
amazing.
tile because the game really wants me to finish it.
That's hilarious. What I will say, this might help you. I don't know. Even if you do
Hmm.
complete the mural, you still have to do something to do that to get that final thing.
Okay,
So you could put it in and just not do the thing. That is a
sure.
possibility. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying that is a possibility if you wanted to do that. But
Yeah.
it's probably because I think after you do that, it then just gives you random slates. Like you do keep getting slates even after you've finished.
Okay. I
It's
see.
just a random until you've completed it. It will not give you until you have all of the slates. It won't
Hmm.
give you any duplicates,
So
which is
l-
nice.
once you have all of the slates, does it
Yeah,
then still give you duplicates though? Will you still get like once it's all done, the project's all done?
I'm pretty certain it does.
Okay. I kind of am excited about that.
You want to build a second one, do you?
Yes. Absolutely, I do.
Okay, fair enough. Uh,
Good
yeah,
info.
okay,
Thank you.
cool. So yeah, I've done the decks. I'm done. I'm done
I
with the
just
game.
looked. I just looked at my deck's completion. I have sensed, quote unquote, about 288
Oh wow,
Pokemon. I have registered 150.
that's quite something. That to have all of those sensed and not
It's because I
when you're
think
not
my
actively trying is very funny.
I think it's because my habitat dex is almost completely done.
Yeah.
So, when you get to a certain point, it shows you
Well,
if you build
kind
this
of.
habitat, you'll get
Yeah,
this.
kind of. But like, I had a point where, like, of my last 10 Pokemon, only three of them I had sensed, even though I'd built all of the habitats. I still had seven Pokemon that were just unknown,
Hmm.
which is funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
Yeah,
then you just had to wait for them.
I've got a lot of shadows of Pokemon that I know exactly who it is, but
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet.
I think it possibly because of the like, because some of them you can only get in specific areas, and obviously some of them are only at night or only in rain or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah. So that's where we are. Done. I've done the game. So there's a DLC. That's me. Which is funny because yeah, I'm 125 hours and you're more than double that, and you're just building stuff.
Yeah, I'm just building. I'm having a good time building.
Maybe at some point I might go back and finish getting a Cloud Island to level 10. That's the only thing I've not got to level
Mm,
10 is my Cloud Island. But I don't know. Vincent's doing a good job for that. He's got my ID and he keeps going in and doing stuff on it. So he's using it as a testing ground before he does stuff on his. And
I see.
it's just automatically building up the environment level because of that. So I'm enjoying that. We're going to talk more about Pokopia, obviously, but let's go for some news now. First up, we have Outbound. So this is, if you're not aware, Micah, this is the uh, camper van. You build a ridiculous uh, thing on top of your camper van game.
Was this in a I vaguely remember seeing a trailer of this.
It was in the late. Was there an indie direct? I think.
Indie showcase,
Yeah,
maybe?
indie showcase. Yeah, I think they had it in that.
Okay, okay.
So
Yes. Now that I'm seeing the trailer for it, yes, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
it has been delayed. So
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
they say late in the process, an issue has been identified that could negatively impact your enjoyment of the game. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough time to still guarantee a release across all platforms on the originally planned date. Please be assured that our team has worked extremely hard to address this and did everything possible to stay on schedule. I'm really interested as to like, how big a bug it is that they're like, no, we're delayed for a month. Like, it's not
especially
just
that
any bug
late
that
in the
does that.
game,
Yeah,
it
fascinating.
must
I
have
really
been
hope they tell
something.
us one time.
It must have been something like it's got to be something like game breaking.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, save file corruption or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so uh there we go. But that's fine. More time to play Pokopia before it comes out.
Hmm. Oh, you know what? Real quick, I just noticed.
Hmm.
As I was about to close my Outbound tab, I just realized that it is part of the Earth Appreciation Festival on Steam, which
Ah.
runs April 17th to the 24th, and they updated that release date 2 days beforehand. So it really must have been extremely last minute because
Unfortunate
this
timing.
game cannot be a part of a sale event if there is nothing to buy. So
Yeah. Oh
that's
dear.
crazy.
Unfortunate.
Wild.
Seeds of Calamity have announced that their 1.0 is now out, and they are also Steam Deck verified. So if you've been waiting for this game to hit 1.0, now's the time. There you go. Ta-da. Woo.
All right.
Recent reviews are mixed, apparently, so that's unfortunate. I don't know. This one
Uh-oh.
is very much kind of like pretty generic Stardew like. There's nothing about this that makes me go, I must play this. This is why it's different. I mean, it looks fine, right? Like everything about it looks fine, but I'm not.
Yeah.
There's no hook for why I should play this.
Yeah. It does very much look like a Stardew clone. Like even
Oh,
down to the
I guess the combat looks different. So it looks like it's like a turn-based RPG combat rather than the
oh,
real-time combat of Stardew. So I guess
okay.
that's something. And
Yeah.
you
I mean even down
battle
to
with
like the
spells.
character animations and
Yeah,
the UI and stuff, it feels very Stardew.
yeah, yeah. Which is not necessarily bad, but the
No.
problem is if you're trying to be Stardew, but you have to have a but, and there has
Hmm.
to be a reason for me to play you rather than to just play Stardew again.
Right.
But maybe I'll play it at some point. We'll see. It's out now and verified on Steam Deck, which is always important to me.
Hmm.
Next up, Micah, we've got a DLC for Hello Kitty Island Adventure. The,
Huge, massive.
the City Town DLC. It is out now. They say a rainbow metropolis awaits. Join Ushahana? I'm guessing that's another character in the Hello Kitty verse.
I have never heard that name before.
Join Ushahana in City Town and discover a world of creativity, friendship, and fun. Run your own customizable imagination cafe. Set up all new shops with Sanrio friends and unlock the power of dreams to uncover the city's hidden wonders. So yes, Ushahana.
Oh, Usahana.
Sorry, Usahana, not Usha. Usahana. The
Okay.
H confused me.
I
Usahana.
have I have seen this character. I did not know that that was their name. They're
Become
kind
best
of like
friends and
if
unlock 35 friendship levels.
Stitches was
Oh,
a
Stitches.
Hello
Yeah,
Kitty
that's a good
character.
point. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Hmm.
Welcome, Usahana. I keep wanting to say Usha. Usahana. Become best friends and unlock 35 friendship levels. Explore City Town with 90 plus original quests and 30 plus hours of adventure. That's a big update.
Yeah, that is a big update. I'm also like very pleasantly surprised at how regularly they're still updating that game.
Mm. Yeah.
Because it feels like something that I don't know. I guess I'm just like so jaded and used to like cash grabs for stuff like that that I'm like,
Well,
you get the game out and then that's it.
so here's the problem is it is a paid DLC.
Oh, I see. I see.
£22.49, which presumably is about $25. So it's not cheap.
Huh. Sorry. Uh yeah, that's pricey.
But it
But
does seem
most of
like a
their
decent
other
amount of
stuff has
content
not
for
been,
that.
right?
Yeah, yeah. This I think. Oh, let me check. Is this the first DLC?
Oh, no.
No, there was another DLC.
There was. There were
It
multiple that
was
cost money.
cheaper though, but it's probably got less stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, if this is
I'm
the game,
sure.
if this is the game that you're playing all the time, then it's probably not a lot to add on a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like
sure.
Hello Kitty people are going to be fine to pay to access another Sanrio character, right?
Yeah. I think I will probably be one of the ones to wait until there's a definitive edition or whatever. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's cool that they're still doing stuff with it.
You can buy the full bundle on sale for 22% off just now. If you get the game, the deluxe edition, and the two DLCs for £42. So was that about $45?
Oh, I must be looking at the wrong. This says that I'm so confused. Mine says 29% off, and then it says price of individual products $70.72 USD, and then it says bundle discount 0%.
Oh,
So I don't
that's
know what's
weird.
up with that,
Oh,
but
I tell you what, this is confused because I own the base game.
oh, I see, I see. Yeah, I don't know any of it, so I guess it's just $70 USD if you
Oh,
don't.
I also have a bundle discount of 0%. But it's definitely not a bundle discount of 0% because I'm seeing 22% off as well. This is
Yeah,
very
it is
confusing.
$100 USD for the bundle, but the
Yeah.
discount brings it down to $70 USD. So
Okay.
there is a 30-ish% discount, but yeah.
Yeah. If I add on the price for the base game to my price, that takes it to £63. So yeah, that's about that makes sense.
Okay. Uh I'm sure that at some point there will be a Hello Kitty Ultimate Collection or whatever that will have all of it
Yeah.
at like a $60 price point or a Steam or the Switch 2 version that's a $70 price point or whatever, I'm sure it'll get to that point.
Next, we have Roots of Pacha have released their anniversary update, and it has hats for pets.
Okay, it's big.
So if you want your hats on your pets, if you want to put a little cowboy hat on your lion while you ride it across the savannah, then there you go. You can do that.
That's huge.
Yeah. There's also some other stuff that I don't really care about.
Hmm.
It's got a bunch of additional things in basically everything, right? Like there's new cutscenes for characters. There's a new washing spot. There's a bunch of stuff that would make sense to people who'd actually played the game.
Sure.
But the
Who
big
is
thing
not
is hats
me?
for pets. Does hats for pets make you want to play it though? That's the question.
Kind of, if I'm being honest. It doesn't make me want to play it less, that's for sure.
I worry we've hit the point where I'm never going to play this game now. Like, you know how there's a point where you're like,
Yeah.
if you don't pick it up on release, that's okay. You've still got time. But then after a
Hmm.
couple of years, you're like, I'm probably never going to go back and play this game now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just too much. And I think I'm also at that point. Not
Speaking
too
of
much in the
game,
game. Said there's too much other stuff to be playing.
yeah, well, exactly. Speaking of games I'm probably never going to play, Slime Rancher 2 have released their 1.2 update, the Radiant Slime Sanctuary update. So this adds Radiant Slimes, which, can you guess what they are, Micah?
No way. Do they sparkle and they're a
Yeah,
different color palette than?
yeah, they're shinies.
Oh way.
I will say the same thing about Slime Rancher adding shinies as I say about basically every game adding shinies. You're not Pokemon. I'm not going to put in the time to shiny hunt in your game. It's just not
Yeah.
going to happen. Sorry.
Yeah. It's gonna really take something, like maybe Monster Hunter. If Monster Hunter had like a shiny mechanic, maybe, but
What if Stardew had like shiny villagers?
doesn't that just imply that
Oh
if it's
no,
a
is it just
color
a race swap?
palette
No,
swap, it's
what have I done? Why have I brought this into the world, this
I think that
concept?
would be a fascinating pivot for Concerned Ape.
Oh no, Clint's black now. Oh dear. The update also adds in the Sanctuary and the Caretaker. The Caretaker is a special NPC, and the Sanctuary is an area specially designed for caring for your slimes, particularly with helping your radiant slimes shed some of that Prisma energy while still retaining their lovely radiant colors. And I'm sure that means something to someone.
I
Uh,
played Slime Rancher 1 and because, as a Dragon Quest fan, anything with slimes and,
yeah.
playing like Ragnarok Online and stuff because they remind me more of the Ragnarok Online slimes. They're a little bit more like that, but it appeals to me. I just not enough for me to play a sequel. So,
Yeah, I like the concept of Slime Rancher.
mhm.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in that boat with you.
Our final main news item before we also have a new game to talk about, but before that, the farmer was replaced. And just for context, Micah, this is a game where it's you write code to farm. So you're a drone on a farm, and you have to tell it what to do to sow and water and harvest, and it's about being
Oh,
efficient. It's a very
can
cool
I
concept.
ask a question about that?
You can.
It if I don't know how to code, does this?
I think it teaches you, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting.
So this update for the game is called "The Typer Was Replaced," and they have added. Let me just read what they said. A few months ago, we had a fun idea. What if you could use "The Farmer Was Replaced" to automate another game? Here's a little experiment we did on that. Together with the creators of the typing game Tap Tap Loot, which officially releases today, and Bongo Cat, we built an integration to automate their games. Now you can automate your typing using the new tap function in The Farmer Was Replaced.
Oh, interesting.
So
This is about as extremely like coder oriented as I would
Yeah,
expect a
yeah.
coder code based farming sim to be.
It is the most programmer thing. It's like, okay, so I've made a game all around programming, farming. Now what else can I do with that?
Now, what if I
Ah,
use
let's
that
let's
game
let's
to
have it.
program?
So you're actually combine it's there's a little gif of it in the post, but it's basically controlling all three games at once.
That's kind of crazy.
I
That's
know, right?
impressive.
I love it.
I'm actually like really kind of interested in this because I don't know anything about coding, and I like the idea of playing something that I'm always a fan of when like there's a game that can teach me something that I've never learned before
Yeah,
in
yeah.
like an interesting way.
I'm pretty sure that this has I mean, I haven't played it yet. I have purchased it. My plan is to play it at some point and talk about it.
Hmm.
Because how can I not?
Right.
Like, I am a
Exactly.
programmer. That is what I do. I need to talk about the programming farming game,
Yeah.
right? Like,
100%.
it would be like not talking about Pokopia, which is a Pokemon farming game, right? Like, next we'll have a
Hmm. Hmm.
Pokemon farming programming game. Like, that would be the ultimate in danger.
Well, you let these guys keep working at this, they might make it so that their game can program any game. So,
Yeah. Someone better stop them.
as a programmer, is the title a programming joke?
Well, the farmer was replaced.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I think it's just a simple like there is no farmer because you're a drone.
Oh, okay. I
So
didn't know if they
you're
like.
automating it, right? So that the idea is like where I think it's a joke based on the idea of pro computers replacing jobs,
I see.
and
I
this
see.
is replacing farming, right?
I didn't know if the blank was replaced was
No,
like a common coder joke,
no, it's not.
programming joke. Okay, all right,
Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
okay. I like the drone with the farming the like
Yeah,
cowboy hat on. That's
yeah,
kind of awesome.
yeah, yeah. All right, I just need to set some time aside to actually play the game. All right, we have one new game to talk about. And this is possibly the most generic farming game I've ever heard of. Farmers Dynasty 2. Build your dream farm and secure your family's future. Cultivate your fields, raise animals, and shape your dynasty across generations in this beautifully crafted life and farming simulation. Start your dynasty today.
That's just farming.
Yeah.
You just described owning a farm in real life.
Yeah. This basically looks like farming simulator.
It does, except that there, I'll say it at least from the like the character scenes, not a pretty game.
Oh yeah, I hate the character models.
Not a
They're
good
like
looking game.
Sims 2 level characters.
Yeah, it has the vibe of like what do they call that? Like an asset flip game.
Yeah, maybe.
Which may
It
not be the case. I don't want to,
I will
I
say
don't want to
its
accuse
reviews are
them of something
mostly
that
positive.
okay. Yeah, it's just it's very interesting. It also from the scenes with the characters in it, it gives the vibe of like a Bethesda RPG
Mm.
for dialogue where it like zooms in on their kind of scary looking faces and locks you in like a dialogue tree, which is an
That's
interesting thing for a farming game.
that's the thing is like I love when it's like because Bethesda games are the same where they zoom in on the face and it's just like
Hmm.
you're just like horrified by this face because it's like
Yeah.
why are you putting so much focus on this character model that looks ugly? What are you doing?
And you're locked in there. You can't escape it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's like Pokemon character models don't look great, but at least they don't zoom in on it and highlight the worst
yeah,
part of
show
it.
you every part.
Goodness me.
I now that we've been talking about this and laughing about it, I'm a little bit more interested than I was 2 minutes ago.
You want
It's
to play for the memes?
it's a very curious looking game.
Yeah, I mean, I have no interest in playing this whatsoever, right? I feel the exact same way about this as I feel about Farming Simulator, maybe a bit worse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not for me.
Well, if I play it, I'll let you know.
Please do. I would love to question you about this. All right. That's all the news then. Ah, woo.
Ooh.
Let's talk about the only thing anyone cares about right now, which is Pokopia.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes, indeed.
I guess let's just get it out of the way now. There will probably be some spoilers, and we don't want to have to think about that. So if you really care about spoilers, you haven't finished the story, or you really care about what Bulbasaur and Paris talk to each other about, any of those tiny things, if you really care about doing everything in the game before you hear spoilers, go away. I can't promise what we're going to talk about.
Now's
We're just
now's
going
your
to see.
chance. Now's your chance to get out. Well, you can.
So Micah, you have 300 hours in the game, you said. 350, was it?
Yes, 300.
300.
According to I could give you probably like a more finite number by looking at the Nintendo eShop app or whatever it is on my
That's all right.
phone.
300, 300,
but
300 is enough. We're all good.
300
Uh,
is
Safe to say you
where I'm
like the
at.
game?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I knew this happens a lot where I'm like I see something coming out and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to be obsessed with that game." And then it comes out and I play, probably like 50 hours of it and I'm like, "This is awesome." And then I put it down and don't ever really touch it again. I
Yeah.
knew that this was going to be, I mean, it's the perfect intersection of like Animal Crossing, Minecraft, Pokemon, which are all like things that I really enjoy. And very easily sink a lot of my time into. So it wasn't a stretch to say that this was going to be a something that I'd invest a lot of time into, and that turned out to be true. So
I'm pretty sure over the like 7 years of this podcast, it's something that we've joked about multiple times.
yeah, the Pokemon Farm Sim.
And then they announced it, and I was like, "Uh-oh, they've
Uh,
actually done it." Okay, so you you talked about restoring the Withered Wastelands as kind of what you've been focused on mostly.
hmm
But obviously you've done the whole main story as well. So did you start by just like powering through the story, or did you have to like pause your reconstruction efforts to go and do the story because you were avoiding
Um,
spoilers or something like that?
so I initially started by like kind of taking my time with the Withered Wasteland, and then
Mhm.
when I realized how much more there was, I was like, oh, I should probably explore a little bit more. And then when I decided what I wanted to do as far as like my build projects go, I was like, okay, I should probably get through as much as I can so that I unlock enough stuff to be able to, consciously decide what I want to do with everything.
Yeah.
Because you sometimes you like take your time and then you unlock a million things later, and you're like, oh, I should have
Yep.
done this beforehand because now I have this that I can put instead of the thing that I actually put there, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So I was that in addition to the fact that it was a very high profile game, and I also exist in a bubble where a lot of like Pokemon news and info is coming at me very quickly, and I was kind of just like I should play through the story so that I don't get anything spoiled for me. Um, and so I did, and I got through the story pretty quickly. I wouldn't say like I speed ran it or anything. I definitely took my time, um, and took the time to like appreciate and enjoy everything. But
Mhm.
uh, I got through it quicker than I think I usually would for something this in depth.
Yeah.
So,
Let's talk story then. What were your highlights of the story?
um, I think every time I like got to a new area, and because I didn't know anything about, what or like what the areas were supposed to be. Aside
Yeah.
from once I got the gist that like Withered Wasteland was Fuchsia City,
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, I wonder what the other areas are going to be." And then getting to those areas, seeing them, seeing the Pokemon there, uh it was I really enjoyed like being able to kind of decipher what this area was supposed to be, like what town this was supposed to be. Um and then looking forward to thinking like, oh, what's the next area? Like what other areas are in the game that,
Yeah.
Kanto areas are in the game. Um that and the every area having like the end mission of every area having a legendary
Mhm.
uh was was kind of a neat thing to think like what's this area's legendary gonna
Yeah,
be, or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and 9 times out of 10 I was wrong because
I love how
because
out of the box
who
they are,
would
right? Because you
expect.
start off with the first one being Kyogre, and you're like, okay, I mean, it makes sense for what we're needing. Like, we need rain.
Right.
Okay, sure, fine.
Hmm.
Kyogre makes sense. Doesn't really make sense for where we are, but you know what? The seas are connected. He's
Yeah.
you can go wherever. All right, fine. And then oh, what was Bleak Beach? I'm trying to. Oh,
Bleak Beach was Raikou.
oh, Raikou. Yeah, yeah. And just like, okay, fine. Electricity, okay, makes
Hmm.
sense. Again, makes sense for the story, and I guess kind of makes sense. Like we're connected to Johto, sure, fine. And then you get to Rocky Ridges, and you're like, yeah, Volcanion. And you're like, why? Why Volcanion?
Volcanion, and he just wants you to just do a fireworks show. That's it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we need rain, we need light, and he's like, we need fun.
I also just love that clear like it's very clear that Volcanion was part of the problem, right? You
Oh,
know, because
100%.
because Rocky Ridge's problem was volcano, and oh look, there's volcano Pokemon here.
Right.
I wonder whether he could have had anything to do with that.
Yeah, Withered
Um,
Wasteland is like, we had no rain, and Kyogre's like, oh, okay, here, I'm gonna give you some rain. And then Bleak Beach is like, it is completely dark out, and Raikou is like, oh, okay, let me give you some electricity. And then Volcanion's like, who could have possibly put all this lava here?
yeah, and he's also just like totally clear with his voice that he just does not care about humans. He's like, oh, thank goodness, I thought the humans were coming back, but they're not. Like, yeah, you did this you didn't want the humans around, did you?
Everyone
Um,
else is kind of side-eyeing him
oh, it was no, it was
at the
Mewtwo. It was
legendary meeting.
Mewtwo. It was Mewtwo who was like, I was worried that the humans were
Oh
up
yeah,
to tricks
yep,
again. And he's like,
yep.
but it's just you guys, so that we're all good.
That too was also very interesting. Like the whole, there is a story, right? And there's like the surface level story, which is we got to do all this stuff because we don't know where the humans are, and we got to do these things to make the area better and stuff. But the underlying story being all of the excerpts and the journals and the notes and whatever, like that you don't necessarily have to find, that just kind of
Mhm.
you find it by exploring, was the most interesting to me. I really, really enjoyed that. I liked getting this glimpse into what was actually happening and learning that in chunks so that it was always kind of like there's a twist here, there's a there's more information on why these Pokemon are here
Mhm.
and why they are coming from these habitats and why these habitats are like summoning them and things like that. Um, and still having kind of like a loose, not full picture of what actually happened.
Mhm.
Like sure, there's cataclysmic events and there's uh, you know, adverse weather and things, but like not having a full definitive picture of what actually happened, I think is like maybe more interesting to me.
Mm. Interesting. I was kind of thinking that that is kind of like uh, the plausible deniability almost, so that they don't like turn off like anti climate change skeptics or whatever, right? Like
Mm,
it's almost like it's to those of us who are, saying it's so very clearly a climate change allegory,
hmm.
right? Like
Yes.
it's humans ruined the world and then they went away. And they left all the
Yeah.
Pokemon and they went away. And they're not coming back, right? They say they are, but they're not coming back realistically.
No. Yeah.
Sure, they might still be alive just now out in space. We got that confirmation. There's at least one out there, but like they're not coming back.
Right.
Um, but almost like not giving the confirmation allows them to be like people who would struggle with that cognitive dissonance can still continue to play, right? And continue to enjoy it, and just
Sure.
being like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, the Pokemon ruined the world," sort of thing. It's almost like the standard Pokemon thing of like, don't have too many opinions, right? I'm framing this as a negative thing. I'm not really, because I don't think everything should be spelled out, and I think giving you absolutely all the answers and all of the explanations for everything is completely unnecessary, right? Like we'll have a little bit
Yeah.
of mystery, we'll have a little bit like, obviously like the weather patterns are clearly um a climate change thing, but like the ground rising up into the sky, not really a climate change thing.
Right. And
So
that's where,
there's
and
still a bit of like, ooh, what does this mean, sort of thing.
and that's where I think it becomes like I agree, right? Like it's totally climate change allegory, and it's very obvious. Um, but I guess there's still that like implication maybe that like there was some greater thing that some greater thing that had, or not even necessarily just that like it was a greater thing like a Pokemon or something, but like some big catastrophic event, like the fact that all of it was happening at once or something like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay, fair.
Uh, and also the what happened in Saffron City, like was it the what Skylands? The Skylands. I don't. I forgot the name for it.
Sparkling Skyland.
Sparkling Skylands. That's it. I kind of that there's totally that like kind of interesting like secrecy to it that like even if that is the case, you're right. Like what happened, even if it is just climate change, which very could easily be the case. Like what happened there for sure. Like
Yeah.
and there's that my theory at least, my assessment of it is that as much as Mewtwo says like, oh, I thought the humans were coming back. I'm happy that they're not here or whatever. Like maybe that was his attempt to save that portion of the cities by lifting it up into the
Oh,
sky, or
interesting.
because it's this mysterious stone that like makes things float, right? Like what
Hmm.
does that mean? Like that screams like psychic energy to me, right? Like um and it's all floating in a very haphazard way, like it was too much for him, or it was too, it was like doing something of that magnitude was too intense and didn't go according to plan or whatever. And I don't know, there's just a lot of there's things like that where there's a lot of stuff that's unanswered that
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
kind of like is unanswered.
Yeah.
um and it almost makes me, it sounds horrible to say because like, all of these like catastrophic things happened to these areas, but it makes me want like a DLC or something, right? Where like we're getting more of the Kanto towns that
Hmm.
have had catastrophes happen to them that
Yeah.
it would be interesting to see what their catastrophe was, or what it what the what legendary is tied to that or whatever, like what more information we could glean from it,
Mm.
having some extra content and stuff. And I'm kind of hopeful that like we get some sort of DLC or something. I think that like the game is done extremely well, right? I think maybe better than they expected as far as like people's the reception of it goes, you
Yeah.
know?
I
Like
think so. I'm sure they hoped that it would do well, but there's no way they expected it to do this well. Like
right,
it has we don't know exact sales numbers, but we know it is the best selling non-main series Pokemon game. Like
right.
the only numbers we have are physical Japanese numbers, I think, and those on their own are more than any Pokemon side game.
Yeah,
Full
which
stop.
is
Like that's
wild to me.
mad.
And I think with the first moment that I realized that like, oh, this is bigger than I think anybody expected it to be, was when I was talking to a friend of mine and they were like, "Oh, I want to get it, but I want to get it physical." And a
Hmm.
game key card discussion aside, I was like, "Well, why don't you?" And then I looked, and everywhere in that first like launch week and a
Mhm.
half, it was sold out everywhere
Yeah.
physically. Like you couldn't get it on Amazon, you couldn't get
Yep.
it at like Best Buy or whatever. And that is so rare these
Yeah.
days. I feel like
Yeah.
that a physical copy of a game is just completely unavailable in store. Like not like a limited edition something, like just a standard physical copy of a game.
It's also the first game I saw people like actively going and buying Switch 2s for.
Yeah.
Like there were those of us who are, weirdos and bought it because we wanted it and we knew there would be games we'd want to play in it. And we
Hmm.
had the money, so we bought it because we knew we were gonna. Like it was going to happen, so why not? Especially if
Right.
you were in the US with the whole, you know. Um
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So there were those of us who did that, but like nobody bought a Switch 2 for the new Mario Kart. Nobody bought a Switch 2 for Donkey Kong. Nobody bought a Switch 2 for the Switch 2 update for Mario Wonder. Like none of these things were like people buying it for that. But this, I saw so many people on TikTok just going and buying a Switch 2 for this game,
Yep.
which is
Yeah.
wild for a Pokemon side game,
Yeah.
spin-off
I
game. Like
have
this is not a main series game. This is a random spin-off,
yeah,
and
it's
people are
crazy.
buying Switch 2s for it.
And I think because of that, there's a little bit more chance than I think there would have been normally for there to be some sort of DLC. That and the fact that we are essentially not looking at having a another mainline Pokemon game for a year minimum at this point.
It's a year. It's going to
Uh,
be a year and a half, right? Like,
right.
it's going to be the October or
We've
November time.
got time, and they have to fill that time with something. And I think that Pokopia being the game that they've that and Champions, but you know,
Do we talk about
Champions doesn't
champions?
have maybe as broad of appeal. I think.
What?
So I think maybe the combination of those things is what's going to sustain them for the next like year,
Are you trying to suggest the
year
Pokemon
and a
Champions
half.
is not
But
a system seller? The the
no, I would
the
never say that.
the Pokemon only battles focused game that has like what 20 Pokemon in it. You think people aren't rushing out to buy consoles to play that? Really?
No, I would never say that. People love that game. People are so excited to play that game. I actually took like a screen record on my Switch because the I got a bug like a graphic bug within the first like 5 minutes of launching it. I was like,
Mhm.
this is I can't believe I can believe it, but also it's
I,
just
I think just as a side point of this, I think it's actually probably best that it is a live service game because
yeah,
it means that they will just keep updating it and fixing it and adding
right.
things. And that was always going to be the plan. But it means that
Yeah,
people aren't like, oh, I paid $60 for this game and it's terrible. It's like, no, no, no. It's
yeah,
just,
yeah. And I also this is another thing I've got a theory on. This is Micah's conspiracy corner, I guess.
oh,
Um,
let's go for it.
I'm talking about DLC for Pokopia, and I'm talking about champions. I think that what happened. I always like to think about like not that I ever am convinced that something happened, because we'll never know. They'll never give us the like behind the scenes on what happened about something one way or another, right? Like but I always like to look at when there is an issue with something
Hmm.
Pokemon related. Why was there an issue? Like
Yeah,
what was the root of the issue? And I had said pretty early, and I still feel very confident about this, especially now, and kind of vindicated that the reason that Scarlet and Violet was so buggy was because I think it originally was supposed to be a Switch 2 game.
yeah,
And because of the delays and COVID and chip shortages and whatever, like they postponed the Switch 2, but Pokemon can't postpone anything because they're on a
yeah.
strict schedule. So,
Yeah,
um,
I don't think it was never meant to be on the Switch. I think it probably was meant
right.
to be on the Switch as well. I think it was meant to be cross-platform.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
And the
100%.
fact that we got ZA is, Legends ZA being cross-platform as well kind of made that. sure for me, right? Like
Yeah,
we're not even
right.
talking like it was what 2 years between the games coming out and the console coming out, and we'd had years of rumors about the Switch
Hmm.
2, and it kept being,
Just
delayed or
rumors.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and
You're
so I
definitely
think
right.
that
I wonder if we go based on that. I wonder my current theory is that because of the Scarlet and Violet nonsense, they have pushed Winds and Waves 1 year out. I think it was meant to come out this year because there's no way they weren't planning for that 30th
yeah,
anniversary Pokemon game. Like
yeah,
seriously, which
I think so too.
I wonder if Champions was released early because of that. Like,
I think so. This is my theory. This is my theory for Champions. They announced at Worlds last year
mhm.
that Champions was coming and that it would be the platform for VGC
Yes,
for 2026. That it would be what people would be playing,
yeah,
what the competition would be on. And I think that there was some hiccup. There's something that they that it wasn't done, but they had to get it out
yeah,
because you have to give your competitive players enough time
yeah,
with the platform in order to compete in it at the World Championships. Because
yeah.
if they didn't, then what? Like the story just becomes that like the World Championships were horrible because nobody had time to be able to play it, right? Like,
Mhm.
so I totally think that like it was not done. They pushed it. They released it anyways because they had to,
Yeah.
and now they're just gonna rush to fix a bunch of stuff in the
Yeah.
aftermath.
Which is fine. I mean, I feel like this is why I'm convinced that Winds was one of the reasons why I'm convinced. Obviously, the main reason I'm convinced that Winds and Waves has been delayed is because I cannot imagine them not planning to release it in the 30th anniversary. It's just,
Yeah,
come on. Like, if you think that they didn't want to do that, come on.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I agree.
but they know fundamentally that if they keep doing what they did with Scarlet and Violet, that they will lose it all, right? Like, because
Yes,
yes, they are a juggernaut and they are one of the biggest media franchises of all time, but you can lose, you can die, right? There are companies that
totally.
have been the biggest companies in the world and have died. It can happen.
Yep.
And so I think they've realized that. And this is good. This is good for us because it means we get better games. But here's the thing. If Winds and Waves was always meant to come out next year, why
Hmm.
would they have rushed Champions out for this year when they could have just done Scarlet and Violet for another year?
I think that because I, I think, like I said, I think that they had full intention to be done with it and release it, but I think that there was something in the development process that like it got hung up. And rather than being able to delay it, they already announced it as being
Yeah.
the
Well, I mean, that's
world's
kind of my
platform.
point.
So like they
That's kind of my
can't,
point because by Worlds last year, they would have already known that Winds and Waves was delayed, right?
Oh, no, no, no. I was talking about champions,
No. I know. I get that. I get that. Um,
Yeah.
but if they had never planned for Winds and Waves to come out this year,
Hmm.
I don't think they would have planned for Champions to come out this year.
Well, so because the world championships are in August, right? And
Yes.
if they're launching, if they keep with their like, release schedule and they release Winds and Waves in November, then that wouldn't have been able to you wouldn't have been able to compete using Winds and Waves. Also, as
Yeah.
far as I remember, they historically don't make the newest game the competitive platform for at least a year or a season or whatever, like to give people time to be able
I'm
to like.
I'm pretty sure that if they release in November, you get the next Worlds with it. I'm pretty sure that's always been
Okay,
the case. But anyway, that's not really my point. My point is like I feel like the plan would have been to release both of them the same year.
yeah, yeah, I
You
think
release
that
Champions around
probably
now.
was, yeah.
You release Winds and Waves in the end of the year, and then
Hmm.
you don't have to think about Scarlet and Violet. And I guess my point is Scarlet Winds and Waves being delayed just cemented Champions being for this year.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Whereas if they had always planned for Winds and Waves next year, I think they would have planned for Champions next year as well.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I
Because then
I I
you
agree
just
with
do
that.
you just do one extra year for Scarlet and Violet, and nobody really bats an eyelid, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
But because they
Yeah.
delayed, and they're like, but we don't want to delay both of them. That's the
Right.
thing.
Yeah, and I think that like there it was always going to be the case that either way that Champions was going to be the competitive platform for this year because if they're releasing Winds and
Yeah.
Waves in November of this year, they got to have something
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, 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 exactly. Exactly, exactly. And they wouldn't want to be talking about Scarlet and Violet a month, 2 months before the new game comes out, right?
right.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a year away, that's a whole different story. But anyway, we have gotten so far off the track. We're talking about Sparkling Skylines. I have one thing to say about Sparkling Skylines while we're talking about it. While we're definitely still talking about it, obviously we're not.
Well, real quick, all this to say, I think that there is a good argument for there is likely going to be
Yes,
some sort of DLC for this game. I think that they've already shown that they're doing the Animal Crossing uh method
the
of
events.
making, yeah, like timed events that
Yeah,
aren't actually timed. They're just specific to the holiday or whatever it is that's going on,
yeah.
or the season, and they're gonna kind of regularly keep up with those, it seems like. But I still think that there will be some sort of like quote unquote title update um that
I
we'll
think
get.
so.
So
I think so. My point, just this is completely random about Sparkling Skylines. We've talked about this a couple of times on the podcast, where I said a couple of weeks ago that I thought it was Celadon as well as Saffron.
hmm
And I have something happened this week in the game that confirmed it for me. I am 100% certain that this is at least part of Celadon as well as Saffron. And
I
I
am
don't
curious what that is, but also I fully agree with you. Before you even tell me
I,
what that is, I think that that's totally the case.
I don't know if I can talk about it because it's something you've not done. I know for certain you've not done.
Is it related to the mural?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm okay with it.
Okay. It's a fun little thing, but it's not like a massive like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you told me that sort of thing.
Okay. Also,
So
I will say that there's a lot of stuff that I've at this point seen because it's
no,
kind of unavoidable
you haven't
when
seen this. I know for a fact you haven't seen
Okay.
this.
All right.
Because when you complete the decks, you get so the what's it called? The finder
Oh,
item.
I have heard about
You
this.
heard it with this. Well,
I have heard about it.
I'll definitely say it then. So
Yeah.
what's it called? The item finder. What's the official name of it?
The dowsing machine.
Dowsing machine. You get a crafting recipe for a new dowsing machine. I can't remember what it's called. And the
The
main
like
thing,
Neo dowsing machine or
yeah, that's what
whatever.
it's called. That's what it's called. The
Yeah.
main thing about it is that it searches over a wider area. So
hmm
the main thing is just it's a better version of it. But the other thing as
Okay.
well is that if you go to Sparkling Skylands, it will lead you to an area with a final gate, which you can find the gate if you're just looking around things. I know that Kevin found the gate before he finished the decks because I don't think he's
hmm
finished the decks, but he's found the gate. But to open the gate, like all the other gates, you have to hit a certain point, and this one is you have to have the full decks. So once you've got the full decks, it opens up, and it's the game development office from Celadon.
Ah, interesting.
And so that's why it's confirmed to me. Like this is both. It's not all of Celadon. Obviously, there's not a
Right.
lot of Celadon here, but there is some. And this just confirms me that this because it's the top left island, the one where you find Gyarados on, which of
Yep.
course is left of the rest of it, which is obviously the direction that Celadon would be from Saffron. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that does make sense. And I have explored a lot of that area. I mean, I've explored pretty much anything that I can
Yeah.
explore. So, but yeah, that area in specific where you find Gyarados is what made me feel like Celadon was a part of that area. Um, like it's not just, you know, just Saffron. Like that
Yeah.
area in specific
Th-
feels like
There's a couple of
Celadon to me
other
because
things
it's
there.
it's
There's like
apartment
something.
buildings, right? Or like
There's a bit related to the game corner over there and stuff like that.
hmm
There's a few things that you find on that bit that are
Yep.
very clearly Celadon rather than Saffron. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to put that out there because people are like, no, it's very clearly just Saffron, and I'm like, no, it's both.
Yeah. 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 I mean, they kind of they kind of dominated the that whole section with Saffron
Yeah.
lore because of Silph and stuff like that. But uh, yeah, that whole section felt when I got there, it did feel for sure like seeing the apartment building and the uh the areas that kind of look like they're big, like it was a shopping area, and maybe it's a like I don't know, things that just felt more like areas that just didn't exist in Saffron,
Yeah.
like buildings that didn't exist in Saffron. It just gave me the sense that it was unrelated or it was very likely Celadon. So
All right. Where were we? Sorry, I
um
felt the need to say that.
no,
Um,
yeah, I that's exactly what you asked me, like what was my favorite part of the story. I think that was the only question that you've asked me so far
and
because
so
we've gotten
basically
so sidetracked.
the
But
answer is everything, right?
it's stuff like that. It's stuff that like there's secrets that like we don't have the answers to, and I love that because one of my biggest gripes about Pokemon as a franchise and the games where they are now as opposed to where they were previously and what has made them not feel like Pokemon games to me is that there isn't this like sense of exploration or adventure, like Scarlet and Violet just aside from what maybe the I can't remember what they're called, the legendaries that are like in the something of ruination, the what is it,
Oh, the ruins of oh
the you know what I'm talking about. The ones that are trapped behind the doors and you got to get all the spikes and
the
that
ruins of Alf.
no, not the ruins of
No, not
Alph,
the
the
ruins of
the
Alf.
in Scarlet and Violet, the four legendaries
Oh,
that are the harbingers
why are
of
they naming
ruination or something.
things
I don't know.
so similar? Um, the treasures of ruin, apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
Ruinous Pokemon.
Yeah, those.
Treasure. Yeah,
The
it's
four
the
legendaries
treasures of ruin. That's what they're called.
behind the gates,
The
and you get the
stakes. Yeah.
spikes and the
Yeah.
stakes and you own that is like the extent of what felt like exploration in that game, right? Because like
Yeah.
there wasn't, until you get to Area Zero, then it's like everything is just it feels empty. It feels so like wide open, and there's not really any. I don't know. Just didn't, and I haven't felt that sense of like exploration in a really long time. And it's because there isn't, you know, secrecy. There isn't like, stuff that you explore and you don't have the answers to. And even when you do find it, you still don't have all the answers and things like that. And I love that they did that with this, and I wish that they would do more of that with mainline Pokemon games because
Yeah.
especially as they move to um open world, like vast open world, because that's what makes open worlds feel lived in and feel, like uh they've got a lot of lore and presence, and when you don't have that, it doesn't hit the same. It just feels like a big sandbox with nothing else to do in it, you know? And that's been my favorite part of this. It's just everything is like a new experience and a new like, oh, what is this? Where did this come from? And what area is this supposed to be? What happened here? And I love that. And I still like 300 hours in, I'm still finding things that I'm like, oh, interesting. That's really interesting that is like, probably what happened here or whatever, like, and I think that's my probably my favorite part of the game is having that sense of exploration.
Yeah. No, I agree. It really is.
It's
I hes
fascinating.
I hesitate to use the word nice, but it feels like the right word, right? Because it's
Yeah.
generally such a mediocre word, but it feels like the perfect word for so much of this game. It's just
Hmm.
nice.
They've also done a really good job of what I would say is like tapping into nostalgia without it being ham-fisted about it.
Hmm.
Like a lot of times when
Yeah.
they do Kanto, it's like, oh, look at this. Remember this? Like it's exactly the thing that you remembered, and it's exactly the way that you remembered it, and except we made it pretty or whatever, like. And this is they've done this in such a like really successful way that like I find myself feeling nostalgic about things that like I don't really understand why. And then
Hmm.
upon further examination, I'm like, oh, it's because there's like a couple notes of the background music that
Mm.
are this track from the Kanto region that like I didn't expect to be here, whatever, like
Hmm.
things that it's nostalgic in a really subtle way that I think is really successful aside from just like blatantly doing nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia.
I've never cared about the Pewter City Museum until this game.
Right. Right. And that's definitely one of the moments that I'm talking about where you are exploring this area and you're like, oh yeah, this is probably pewter, right? Because it's
Hmm.
the rocks and whatever, and then you get to the mines and you're like, okay, maybe it's not because there's all these mines, and then what are these? Pewter didn't have mines, and you go through and then you wind up in the museum and you're like, oh my God, it is.
Yeah.
It's just it's such a cool experience that like finding the space room in there was
Do you know, I was fixing up that room last week while watching some Artemis mission stuff, which was a really fun little bit of
that's so cool.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's made me feel the the like sense of childlike wonder that I haven't felt in a Pokemon game in a really long time. And I think
Mm.
that's the issue is that mainline Pokemon games have tried very hard recently in recent years to kind of like cater to the whims of critical adults.
Yeah.
um and while still trying to maintain like being a family friendly like kid friendly franchise. And they kind of like fly in the face of that a little bit with this, where like the events of the game are very dramatic and not, something that you would expect them to uh discuss in like a kid's game, like the extinction of the human race essentially, or like the potential extinction of the human race, and um these catastrophic events and everything is falling apart, and but they do. And on top of that, it still manages to feel more like a that get more of that childlike wonder than you do out of any of the other things that they've done recently. And I think that that's like really says a lot about how successful they were in making this game what it is, and how it speaks to people, and why it's been so well received too.
Yeah.
And it's got
It's
legs
almost,
because of that. And I'm excited to see, you
yeah.
know.
It feels like people cared about it, which is
Yeah,
which is
totally.
which is definitely what you feel. As rough as they feel now when you go back to them, you still feel like in the first games people really cared about them, right? Like
Hmm.
this was what they wanted to do. And I'm not saying that no games, no more modern Pokemon games have had that, but like you definitely feel it more, I think, in this than anything else.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I think what I'm mostly impressed by is how you manage to tell a cohesive story with so much that you just could just avoid, right?
Hmm.
Like you can spend the entire game not seeing most of the story, but it still feels cohesive enough and full enough.
Yeah, totally. It's got, it's got layers in that way that like, at the most base level, you understand everything that's going on, or like you not everything, but you understand enough of what's going on to be able to enjoy it and see it as a cohesive story. And then there are deeper levels to the story that if you explore and if you, really dig into it, then you'll find more. Um, and there's more to you know kind of reward you for doing that deeper exploration. There's like layers to the story, and that's, I don't know, it's just rewarding. Exploration is like one of the greatest things that they can do in modern Pokemon, and I feel like they really haven't been until this. So
Yeah.
it's just a wonderful game. There's a reason that I've put 300 hours into it. It's just I just really love it. I think it's a really wonderful experience from start to finish.
What do you foresee your future plans? So obviously you're gonna restore,
Hmm.
and which I've talked a little bit about this, how there's clearly two types of people playing this game. You either want to just like level everything and recreate what the first version of Kanto was, or you want to kind of like work with what there is and try and make a society that has
Right.
changed. Which um you can think of it as deeply as you want or not, but I feel like those are kind of like the two types of people. So you're going for the second one, is
I
that
would
right?
say I'm maybe somewhere in between.
Okay,
Um,
speak more on that.
little bit more on the second one, but somewhere in between. My project that I'm working on essentially, that I'm recording and planning to edit into a like cohesive showcase uh of what I did and why I did it and so on and so forth is, starting with the Withering Wastelands because it's the first area, is essentially rebuilding Fuchsia to its quote unquote former glory, but with the caveats of what they've given us, some of the bones that they've given us, some of the history uh of Fuchsia across the different versions of Fuchsia, because we've got,
Hmm.
five different versions of Fuchsia to
Yeah.
to to reference, um that has its own kind of history over the generations where,
Yes.
the Safari Zone has evolved, the owner of the Safari Zone has moved, the Safari Zone has turned into something else entirely. And this is, not taking into account the concept of alternate timelines and alternate, there's plenty of uh speculation to be had about that, but it's too much to to reasonably take into consideration when you're trying to do something like, kind of rebuild based on
Yeah.
what info you have. um but I'm also doing it in a way that caters to my like sensibility for it, is that I want it to cater to the Pokemon and not just the people. Like,
Yeah.
in the way that, these are Pokemon that had trainers, right? Like they are not just, which is something else that's like kind of interesting to think about. Like these Pokemon were all Pokemon that had trainers because their trainers had to put them in the system, right? Like they put them in the fail-safe system.
Yeah.
And so they are Pokemon that have associations with humans, and in a lot of cases it seems like positive associations with humans. So giving them something that gives them the sense that, like, they're the fondness of what it was like living with humans, but still making it about their comfort rather than strictly, like, specifically human comfort. So, like, as an example, Fuchsia had what was sort of like a zoo in a lot of the iterations of the
Yeah.
early iterations of it, especially where they had these enclosures and they had Pokemon in these enclosures, and it was like Slowpoke and Voltorb and Chansey, and
Yeah.
they were essentially just like enclosures in a zoo. So, while taking that into account, I've also turned those into habitats for those specific Pokemon.
Okay.
So they still exist, but they exist for the sake of the Pokemon rather than for the sake of the humans. Um, and uh, sort of rebuilding a mock Safari Zone that also takes into account, like, making this a comfortable thing for the Pokemon rather than being a, like, spectacle for humans. Um,
Mm.
and it's just been fun and interesting, like, trying to, like, self-impose those rules on myself and, like, rebuild in that way, so that it's not just, it's Fuchsia exactly as Fuchsia was, before the catastrophe.
Yeah. Yeah.
um and, taking into account other things too, like historic, like history for Fuchsia, like, you know um uh like in Gen 7 and Let's Go, there was a building that was kind of added that wasn't in previous versions of Fuchsia, that was like sort of like an expert office. it's the building that's in the top right, uh, and it's just kind of like an office building
Yeah.
essentially. There's like computers in there and desks, and it's like a welcome center sort of. It's, I think sort of like it kind of feels like a Safari Zone like staff center, but there's a lot of like expert trainers in there, right? Like black belts, and there's trainers that are like talking about their expertise with specific types of Pokemon and
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
on. So like, you know, trying to implement bits and pieces from across the like 5 iterations of Fuchsia so that it's not just like generation one, you know, red, blue, green Fuchsia, or like just, generation seven, let's go Pikachu Eevee Fuchsia. It's a kind of like a combination of culmination of all the different versions of Fuchsia across the generations. And it's just been fun doing that. And the thing that I feel most like personally validated by in doing it is that can't stop myself from as I'm doing this, thinking ahead to like when I move on to Bleak Beach, all of the plans that I have for Vermilion City and the SSN, and like all the stuff that I want to do there, and all the stuff that I want to do with Rocky Ridge, and like, there's just it just is such a like fun, interesting experience for me, and an interesting way to like relive those areas in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
format, that I just it tells me that what I'm doing is like, is I'm getting positive feedback from myself, like, and it makes it really fun. It makes it a really fun way to play the game, and to I don't know, to um keep playing it, have a reason to keep playing it. So,
Fair enough. Meanwhile, I built a subway station and a giant tree. So,
and I love it. See, that's what's so like when I'm working on stuff like this and I'm doing things, like in the game, I'm like working on a specific building or whatever. Like I'm usually watching videos on YouTube of like people's builds and like what they've done with their areas and stuff. And it's so fat. There's no like, the same way with like Minecraft or Animal Crossing or whatever. Like, there's no one way to play the game. And I love seeing everybody's builds for things. Like, I watched someone build an entire KFC, and I thought it was like fascinating. And I gleaned some really important knowledge from it too. Like, I learned from that video how you can make your own custom art signs and stuff, and
yeah.
that is crazy to me, that people just seeing people do auto farms and their storage systems and just all of these things that people have already managed to like figure out how to do with this game, that like I even 300 hours in, I wouldn't have never thought to do,
Yeah.
is so cool. And like seeing how people are taking these areas and making them their own, or like making their pallet town its own thing, is just, I don't know, it's so cool and interesting and fun. I just love seeing people having fun with it.
Yeah. I agree.
And it makes me want to see everybody's, like, I wish that, and I'm sure there is, and I haven't necessarily looked, but I'm sure that there is some, community of like, here's my Cloud Island address, come check it out,
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
on.
yeah. I've seen quite a few of them online. It's good fun.
I have so far seen the Dev Island and the IKEA Island, and that is the extent of like my Cloud Island
I
visiting.
haven't actually been to the IKEA one. I did go to the Dev one. Was did I purely go to photograph a few items that I needed and print them back all home? Yes, yes, I did. Uh,
It's cool. I love that stuff, because it's, even then it's like, I'm seeing things that like I wouldn't have thought,
yeah.
that the devs are like, hey, did you know you can do this?
Well,
Like,
this is what I love about it. So like I've seen a lot of TikTok videos of people like creating automation things and stuff. And
hmm
they're great fun to watch. And so I ended up creating one of the farming ones. Which was fun. So like at a push of a button, all of my crops harvest, which I just love. Um and then because have you seen the things where you have like the sensor and you have the hatch?
and the
And
water
so
flow.
yeah, so so like, but it's like you make it to actually move the sense the like because there's nothing like redstone, you have to like
Yeah.
create this chain of
Yep.
hatches and sensors, which
Yes.
is hilarious and I love it. But what I didn't realize until I went to the dev island is that's on the dev island. Right? The devs
Wait, where is it
explicitly
on the
use
dev
that.
island?
So there's there's a hatch that if you go in, it takes you down
Oh, yep.
underground,
I
and
do.
then
Yeah.
you end
I do
up
remember
at
that
this
now.
place where like I can't remember what happens, but is there like a flow of
You
water
ride a
that
cart.
suddenly starts? Yeah, you
Yeah,
ride a
it's like
cart.
a waterfall down
Yeah, yeah. But
the
if
side
you
of the
go behind
wall.
the waterfall, you find this chain of hatches and sensors that lead you up to there was a sensor when you walked in, and it starts off this slow chain that by the time you get down to the bottom, it then
Um,
it starts the flow of water.
that's so cool.
It's so clever.
I love that. Yeah,
And but you only
that's the
notice that
stuff that's
if you
like,
go in and look at things.
yeah. Yeah, that's the stuff that's fascinating to me because like I just do not have the brain for that. Like I just don't have I just don't have the brain for like uh running sensors and hatches in a way that will like, I can look at someone else's build and mimic that and like recreate that,
Yeah.
but like doing it myself, absolutely not. There's no there's absolutely no way that I have the brain for it. And so seeing people do that is so fascinating to me. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We could probably talk about this for hours. Should we wrap up there? Because
Yeah,
I just
that's
like we could
probably
like we've talked about the important stuff. We talked about what you're liking, what you're up to, the stuff that you think is best about the game.
hmm
Suffice to say, you like it, and if people are still listening to this and they haven't played the game, they should probably play it.
yeah, absolutely. And I would love to if people want to share their Cloud Island addresses and whatever. I would love to see more. I want to see what you've been up to too, because we've talked about it a little
Mhm.
bit. We've talked about it a lot today, but we've talked about it a little bit and like how much we're enjoying and whatever. But I haven't seen anything that you've done, and I would love to see what everybody, because every time I see somebody's stuff, every time I see somebody's build, it's like new inspiration too. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I could do this, or I could, I never thought about doing it that way, and I think that that's so fun. That's like exactly what Animal Crossing or like Minecraft is.
Yeah.
You see someone's build, and you're like, oh my God, I never thought about doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, agreed. I mean, my Cloud
It's
Island isn't
great.
much to talk about, but maybe I'll post some videos of my local stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I do. That's the last thing I'll say is that like the extent of Cloud Island that I've done is we have a work Cloud Island for my job, uh which is working for a YouTuber who makes Pokemon related YouTube content. So
Yeah.
uh but one of the is one of the kind of videos that we do pretty regularly is prop hunt style, like hide and seek. And so
Mhm.
we did a lot of it during Scarlet and Violet, um with Blueberry Academy and like Synchro,
Yeah.
and doing a lot of it now with this because this is the perfect game to do it in with the
The
transform feature.
the prop
And
hunt that stuff is such a funny thing for them to add in.
oh,
Like,
totally.
just imagine the conversation and being like, "Oh, so we're going to add this thing where you can like, you know, turn into any item in the game." Oh, okay, cool.
Right.
Why? Why?
Right. And I do
It's like, no,
think
no,
to
trust us.
some
So it's like
degree,
someone be on the team who's like, no, trust me. This is for
yeah,
the social media, right? Trust me.
right, totally. I totally think that because there's even, the person that I work for aside, like there are tons of people who do that sort of like that did for Scarlet and Violet era, did like synchro, hide and seek and prop hunt, and there's a lot of that content on YouTube, and that got really popular on Twitter and on TikTok and whatever, like, and I fully believe to some degree that someone saw that and was like, "Oh, that's really fun that people are doing that. Let's give them more reason to do stuff like that."
Yeah.
Um, because it does, for the sake of social media, push it further and get people, it gets more eyes on it and gets more, virality out of it and whatever for whatever that's worth, which in this day and age is worth a pretty reasonable amount. But that has been the extent of our my cloud island experience has been we have a work cloud island where we basically are like building sets uh and then they record like prop hunt with the sets that we build, which has been a lot of fun to just like look at things and items in the game and be like, oh, if they transform into this and they, like position themselves here, that could be fun for like, tricking people into thinking that they're one thing or another, There's just an extra level of like creativity and building that adds
Yeah.
and makes it really fun for just anybody to be able to be like, hey, you want to hop onto this island and like play some hide and seek for a little bit? Like it's a neat thing. It's something fun too that like, when my nephew has this game, I can see myself doing a lot of with him
Mm.
rather than just like building stuff, It's like
Yeah.
it's like an actual game that we can play. Um
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so
my
yeah.
Craig, my son, he's been very much into Minecraft recently, and
Hmm.
he's been watching me play Pokopia and saying, "Ooh, when can I play that game?" But of course, the problem then
That's
is
awesome.
I tell him, see all these things that I'm using. Yeah, you have to play through the story to unlock them, and he's like, "Oh, okay,
Right.
not interested anymore."
Yeah. Yeah, that's like kind of the situation with Becky too. Like not totally because she's, kind of casually playing through it and not at the like speed that I did because she's not on social media. So she has the that added benefit of like not having to worry about having stuff spoiled for her. But um she will like watch me play and see things and be like, "Oh wait, where did you get that from?" And I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you got to keep playing." She's like,
yeah.
"Oh, okay, all right." I'll
Maybe I'll
get
let
there
him play on my
eventually.
cloud island. That's what I did with Animal Crossing. He has his an island on his Switch, but he just got really bored really quickly because he didn't have any
Hmm.
of the things.
Oh,
And
sure,
so
yeah.
what I ended up doing was when they released the 3.0 update, I was like, well, you can have a Dream Island if you want. So he's got a Dream Island on my Switch.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
Yeah,
maybe
that's cool.
maybe I'll let him have the Cloud Island and he can just play on my account.
Yeah.
Dear. Anyway, thank you for joining me, Micah, to talk about Pokopia. Maybe
I appreciate that you almost called me Kevin because I think that he's been
you
on
caught
every
that, did you?
episode. If I'm mistaken for anybody, I appreciate that it's Kevin. So
So the real question is, what will we be next together for? Will there be a new Story of Seasons this year? Will we have the new Harvest Moon game come out sometime? We don't have a date for that yet, or will it be the game
more
of the year?
Pokopia or
Or more Pokopia, yeah, because who knows? Maybe there will be DLC. I suspect there will
or
be DLC, and I suspect we'll get an announcement this year, but I
yeah.
don't think we're getting a release this year. That's my theory.
Oh, a release for like DLC, you mean?
DLC, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get like, seasonal updates up until the
Yes. Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
holidays, and then I think we'll probably get something
I don't think any
after
of
that.
those will need a full episode though.
No,
Like,
no.
here's a full episode for another hop up event, right? Like
I mean, I
we
would
got
love to do a full episode on the Bulbasaur's jump rope contest event specifically, but
yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't even know when
It's
it's
like
supposed to
it's not
happen,
even
but
adding a new thing in the game. It's just a thing that's already in the game. Hey,
that's
do
right. Well,
this.
you get a trophy. That's new. The trophy's
Yeah,
new.
okay, sure, sure. That's new. But such a ridiculous event. It's like, hey,
It's
this
a
thing that
slow
exists,
start
do it
to the
again.
like to the seasonal stuff. It's a slow start to the events. It's spring, and there's not a lot of aside from Easter, there's not a lot of like holidays going on or whatever,
Yeah,
We got
fair.
time. I'm sure we'll get Delibird come Christmas
Oh,
season,
are we
holiday
gonna are we
season.
gonna get some snow on the ground?
I don't know. Okay, so one last Micah's conspiracy corner
Uh-oh,
before
here we
we
go.
get out of here.
Can I just
Uh
point out, I
I
tried to finish the episode and he just kept
you
going,
did.
right? Before
I
someone
have to
says
get
that
this
I'm
out of my
keeping him
system
longer,
though. I got to get this out of my system before we
go for
depart.
it.
I read something. This is how you know that it's going to be a really good and valid point when someone starts the story by saying, "I read something on Reddit." Uh, I saw somebody post something on Reddit that normally I have a very good mind to be like, nah, that's, it's a stretch, whatever. Like maybe sure, but like that's a stretch. I kind of feel like they're onto something. They specifically said in regards to DLC, in regards to like added areas, that there are a lot of Pokemon that are missing from the Pokedex that are ice Pokemon. There are not a
Mm,
lot of ice related Pokemon in the Pokedex.
interesting.
And they said, I think it would be really fascinating if we got Cerulean and their catastrophic event was that it froze over.
Mm,
And that would include adding a lot of ice types. And I think that that's a really interesting idea. And I like that. I mean,
that
either
is.
that or Cinnabar, right? Like Cinnabar Island would be a easy thing to add as like it's an island, like
Hmm. It is an island.
that
Yeah, you're
maybe
correct. It's in the
froze
name.
over because it's too close to maybe like there was you know, it froze over from I'm blanking on what the Whirlpool Islands? No, that's Lugia. What's Articuno? Where's the
Seafoam.
Seafoam?
There we go.
Yeah,
Phew.
maybe like
I thought I'd
Seafoam.
lost. I thought I was losing my Pokemon fan card there.
Because maybe Seafoam, like, there was something, maybe Articuno went wild and it froze over. I don't know. But I think like adding a whole area that's specifically for ice types, like adding
Hmm.
ice types in would be very cool and interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
and
I'm not really seeing any ice types. That's a good point.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Except Articuno, obviously.
yeah, yeah. Also, I want Celebi. Just give me Celebi. Give me Chikorita. There's no Chikorita because they did that Pokemon thing where they're like, we can't include the most recent starters for a game in the thing. So I don't know why we're still doing that, but just give
No,
me.
they need to save Celebi for like a future game where we go back in time and see what happens.
Oh, for Pokopia 2. We go back to Pokopia 1 with
Pokopia 2,
Celebi.
this time is Johto.
It's Let's Go Johto all over again.
I mean, do you right? Okay, we're gonna stop here. Thank you for joining me. Blah 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 blah. Oh,
Thanks for having me.
where's my
This was
list?
a
Where's
lot
my
of
list of
fun.
stuff? Is there anything you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, I don't if you are a Pokemon enjoyer and you're going to be at North American Internationals in New Orleans, I'll be there and I'm bringing the Dan Club. If you don't know what the Dan Club is,
Ah,
if you give me a copy of the Dan card from Rebel Clash, uh, which is just a guy, then I will draw your favorite Pokemon on a Dan Club card, and then you're part of the club. That's it. Also, you can find me on pretty much anything. Uh, I haven't been streaming on Twitch because I've been moving and I've been very busy, but I plan to get back to it. So you can find me there,
excuses,
Micah the Brave.
excuses.
It's been a lot, man.
I know the feeling. We've had our kitchen redone, and so we were without a kitchen for 8 weeks. Uh,
Ugh,
And let me
that's
tell
brutal.
you, it's the same sort of thing as moving, right? Like you just don't realize how much you appreciate certain things until you don't have it.
Right, exactly.
It's like when your entire
Also,
it wasn't our entire life, but it was our entire kitchen was in boxes, and you're just like, where is everything? And we spent 8 weeks eating like ready meals and takeout, and it's just like, oh my word, I just want to cook some chili or some pasta sauce or like give me
yeah,
something.
exactly. Yeah, that's 100%. I mean, we had paper plates and plastic forks and freezer meals for the first like 2 weeks we were here because we just
Murder.
didn't have anything on. We didn't have anything unlocked. I almost said unlocked because that's how game brained I am right now. But yeah, it's I also don't know what my internet situation is like as far as streaming goes. Like internet seems fine, but like, it's a new place, new area, new whatever. So like I don't even know if it can handle it. We're gonna find out. But eventually I'll be
I mean,
back.
this call's been sounding great, so
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
handle that.
It's I think when I'm, you know, up upstream a bunch of like video and audio, then it's like doesn't know what to do, but because it's still Spectrum, so but you can also find me on pretty much any, I don't know, you can find me on any social media pretty much at Micah the Brave. Um,
We are the absolute worst. All right. You can find the podcast on
yeah,
Tumblr and on Blue Sky
it's
at
bad.
CHS Pod. You can send us feedback from our website, harvestseason.club, where you can also find links to all the everything to do with the podcast, including our Patreon, patreon.com/GHSpod, where you can support the podcast. You can get access to our Slack and access to our bonus episodes. I've been really slack, you might say, on posting bonus episodes recently. So I will hopefully get some more up very soon. Whew. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you
That's
again for
big.
joining me, Micah.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for letting me yap because nobody does. I'm alone all day. I'm very lonely.
I'm always here for a Micah episode. Uh, thank you, listeners, for listening, and until next time, have a
Have a
good
good
harvest.
harvest.
Woo. The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode. Of course, what I should be saying is there's no news. What is there other than Pokopia? Come on. I see Kevin's been in our show notes. He's been sneaking a peek about what's coming up. He can't cope when there's a
Uh,
Pokopia episode without him.
has he been on all of them so far?
Not quite. He wasn't on the map one, but I think he's been on the rest. He wasn't meant to be on.
Oh,
He
okay.
wasn't meant to be on last week's one about the multiplayer, but we had a little issue with Nathan, so I got him to swap in instead because I was
I see. I see.
not able to record.
Okay.
So yeah, only one of this is only the second Pokopia episode he's not been on.